Alright, we got Mike Krzima. Why is Shaq's the NBA's biggest hater?
On August 23rd, 2020, Luka Doncic not only had a 43-point triple-double, but also beat the Los Angeles Clippers with a game-winning buzzer beater. Only Shaq was not impressed.
No, he's great, but I've seen that before. His name is Steph Curry. I've seen that before. His name is James Harden. I've seen it all last week. His name is Damian Lillard. Just calm it down a little bit. That's all I'm
You hater, man.
In the previous video, we just watched Shaq tell the nation to calm down a little bit after a second-year Luka Doncic hit a game-winning buzzer beater over the Los Angeles Clippers, a team who had the highest preseason odds to win the championship that year. This was a team that was also built around two wing stars and future Hall of Famers Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and for this series, Luka would average a near 31-point triple-double, none of which impressed Shaq.
I've seen that before.
Shaq only told us he had seen this before from three players who were all named to the NBA's top 75 list, an argument that was the exact definition of nitpicking or hating just to hate. Shaq's just a hater, but we've seen that before. Shaq during the birth of his second child, his wife. Shaq, the baby is coming. Shaq.
Yo!
Recognize how speechless everyone was by Shaq's baseless hate? Yes, at this point in time, Shaq has gained the reputation of the NBA's biggest hater. However,
Shaq's
this hate at all.
Who said Shaq's the NBA's biggest hater? Yeah, literally.
Luka clip just Shaq at his most extreme. I say this because in the current media landscape, people get judged in just clips, not long-form content. For instance, recently Shaq got a lot of hate for seemingly piling on Luka Doncic again, if you read the headlines.
This is for best point.
This is
best point guard.
or best lead guard.
Taking him,
nowadays.
Shaq or Luka?
I'm going to have to take him.
Wow.
Luka's a favorite player, but this kid...
You dudes act like it's a wrong. There's no wrong answer. Shay and Luka, Skims Boy and Luka. There's no wrong answer here.
plays the right way. I like stories like this, guys that come out of nowhere and then they're forced to be reckoned with.
Despite directly saying Luka is a fabulous player, the comments were the same. SGA is amazing, but Shaq low-key been a Luka hater for a while. Don't worry, guys. Shaq thought Shay was just Shaq misspelled, and so he picked himself. The current 2024 MVP odds have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at number 2, 2 spots ahead of Luka. So what really is the story here? Is Shaq really the NBA's biggest hater, or is he the king of tough love? Has he been misunderstood all along? What's up, guys? Mike here, and we need to remember that in Shaq's life, as a young teenager himself,
I can answer this question right now, bro.
He was raised by a
gonna wait till the end, though.
sergeant stepfather who to Shaq was dad, and his dad had him playing against grown men who were ruthless with both curse words and elbows in army-based basketball games, as again, Shaq was around 13.
I said I'm not in the Army, I'm 13. What? I'm only 13.
Yeah, what? He was probably about like 6'8". That's why. That's why he said what? Because he's just 6'8". Yeah, I'm 13 years old. What? Probably think he was like 22.
Point in his life, Shaq reportedly went from terrible to one of the best big men we have ever seen. So when we watch clips like this about Anthony Davis, you decide, hey,
He said, yeah, he's like 6'8". He couldn't make a layup or dunk. He started lifting weights. All of a sudden, he started 360, rim reverse, and all that.
hate or no hate. Everyone during this segment on TNT is against Shaq. However, he holds strong. Dominant centers close out the fourth quarter, and in this game, Anthony Davis scored 21 points in the first before scoring only 2 in the fourth.
You say Anthony Davis had 21 points in the first half?
Yes, he did, and finished with 28 and 11.
That's not good enough.
Anthony Davis played pretty good tonight.
No, pretty good ain't good enough. You can't have 21 points in the first half and have 7 points in the second half.
I agree with that. I agree with that. So your points don't count, AD. All your points came in the first half.
I had to play great for Kenny to get open.
But guys, before we continue, I am very excited. For sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back into that video. Yes, 28 points in the box score is a good performance. However, when your team loses the game and you score 2 points in the fourth quarter, how is everyone on your side but Shaq?
Carmelo! That's right, Carmelo played for the Blazers, that's right.
How is everyone on your side but Shaq? Shaq had a reason for what he was saying here, and after this clip, the Lakers would win the next 4 games against the Blazers and eventually win the 2020 bubble championship. Anthony Davis would average 27.7 points and 9.7 rebounds during that stretch, as he became the wingman that LeBron James needed, even earning the nickname Bubble AD, a huge step up from his Basketball Reference nickname of Street Clothes.
Fat Man. Bro, don't name him Fat Man with the P?
Of Street Clothes.
The bro, hold up. Let me post the video, dang! Hold
A
up.
huge step up from his Basketball Reference nickname of
The unibrow brow, AD Ant. The fat man. Street clothes. Wilt Davis.
Street clothes.
Charles Barkley gave him that. Street clothes.
As you will see the deeper we get into this video, I truly believe Shaq wants to inspire greatness, and this just recently came up with Zion Williamson.
I want to make some points about Zion.
Okay.
Does not run hard. It's not a diss. It's going to be a lesson from one great big man to another guy that could be a great man. Does not run hard. And he doesn't have that look.
If it comes from a great place and a place where they just want to see me do better, thank you.
However, in his second season, Zion looked like a future legend after he averaged 27 points per game on 61% shooting. This season, in what should be year 5 in the league, I'm counting it, he lost a year due to being over 300 pounds. Zion is averaging under 22 points per game.
He had to say, you just could have said he lost it. You say he lost it because he was over 300. Dang.
Claims were baseless.
He lost the year because he's fat. He's fat.
You want to see him be the best player he can be.
I said, you know, he doesn't run hard, doesn't create easy baskets for himself, and it looked like he's not ready. When it comes to being a dominant big man, I am the authority. I am the go-to guy.
This is very important. As Shaq explained, not only does this come from love, not only does Shaq want you to be great, but also he is the authority here. And the players know it. They know it in 2 ways. 1, Shaq is, of course, one of the greatest big men we have ever seen. But 2, he's also currently one of the most influential voices in basketball. We will get into Shaq's gigantic influence in a second. What matters first is giving Shaq all of the praise he deserves, the awards he won that makes his word credible. Shaq is very open with his own career. He was not Kareem. He did not have as dominant of a long-term stretch. Instead, Shaq makes the claim that he is the most dominant center at one point in time that basketball has ever seen. And his case is a very, very good one. As in the 2000 NBA Finals, Shaq averaged 38 points and 16.7 rebounds a game, and also missed 9 free throws a game. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter that other teams invented the hack-a-Shaq. It didn't matter that Shaq missed every single free throw because he was that much better than everyone else in the block. So when we originally hear a clip like Joel Embiid is soft,
Embiid is playing SOF capital T. He's not playing with force. He's looking for the foul. He has a little band-aid on his little hand. He wants the ref to call it foul. And you go 1 for 10. It ain't your coach's
This
fault.
James Harden, bro. That's James Harden, bro. He always baiting for playing basketball to get fouled, not just to play basketball.
It ain't your
He does
teammate's
that
fault.
sometimes.
It's your fault, period.
originally we can clearly see why this comes off as a bit hater-esque. However, after this clip, Shaq has defended Embiid several times.
And everybody's got their MVP ladders. Might it be Jokic? Might it be Embiid? If it's one of those two, who do you give it to?
Joel Embiid right now. He's playing the game like he's supposed to be playing. He's leading, rebounding, he's playing inside.
Joel Embiid has not only gone on to win the MVP after the Shaq call out, but also at the end of the day, Shaq knows the hard truth of this league. It don't mean a thing without the ring.
And I asked the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, what do you think about Shaq? And his response was, he's pretty good, but he hasn't won yet. Kind of broke my heart, but it was the truth.
It broke Shaq's heart that a great one in Kareem would look at Shaq and say, who cares about any of that if you haven't won yet? In Kareem's eyes, nothing Shaq did until 2000 mattered. And between 2000 and 2002, Shaq truly does have a case for being the most dominant big man we have ever seen. As yes, the Lakers three-peated, and you might hear, but what was their competition in the NBA Finals? At times, not the best. However, between 2000 and 2002, not a single person has even claimed that they were able to stop Shaq. As between 2000 and 2002, even against Tim Duncan, Shaq averaged a combined 28.6 points and 12.4 rebounds on 57.5% shooting in their 18 games played. Shaq won 5 of the 9 regular season matchups and 8 of their 9 playoff games. The fact that Shaq's idol in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did not respect what he had done on a basketball court yet fueled him to true greatness. And so Shaq takes the same approach to his
Yes, man. Yes, we yeah.
on TNT.
That's what I'm about to say at the end of it. I'll say it now. Shaq, like when Kareem said that, he took it personally, like Michael Jordan. He took it personally, used that as motivation to dominate. So he's hating on these new guys, so hopefully they can take that as motivation to dominate. But Shaq got to understand, not everyone has that mentality like you, bro. Not everyone has that mentality. When you hate on someone, they don't use it as motivation all the time. They say, oh, he's a hater. I ain't going to listen to him. I ain't going to listen to that fat man on TNT.
He knows
Whoop-de-doo!
he is now the
So you gotta, you see what I'm saying? You can't,
same center that
not everyone's built like you, Shaq. literally and figuratively and mentally.
Grew up watching. He has taken it upon himself to play the role of tough love dad for young generational talent. Shaq refuses to accept any Wemby praise.
He's never seen a guy like Wembanyama. Yes, you have. His name is Bobo.
You think
Wembanyama.
See, he's trying to he's trying to motivate Wemby. Said Shaq doesn't think, Shaq thinks that someone in the league like me, I'm gonna show him that it's not. I'm gonna show him that it's not. But Wemby probably doesn't think like that, Shaq.
Let me finish my
Y'all understand that? He just got to understand it. There's nothing wrong with this strategy. You just understand that no one like you know what I'm saying? Like no one has the same mentality as you. Not everyone has the same mentality as you, bro.
consistent than Bobo.
That's all.
played 3 games.
Yes, we just saw Shaq compare Wemby to Bol, but as we've also seen, we cannot take these clips at face value. We have to judge them years later. To compare Wemby to Bol is a ridiculous statement. Unless, in your mind, you're trying to let a younger center know, hey man, until you do a lot more, you have not proven anything to me. So while some of Shaq's statements have made headlines, young players still love Shaq. Here's Gigi Jackson, a 19-year-old rookie who in his first 6 games scored just 12 points, then was thrust into the national spotlight after a 23-point outburst against the Warriors.
GG Shaq here. I don't have any questions. I just want to say congratulations, young fella. I'm so proud of you.
Well,
Yes, sir,
Gigi,
it's an honor to get to hear your voice. Appreciate you.
well, Gigi, you could tell it was Shaq. He was mumbling.
That does not look like the reaction you'd have to a hater. That was the reaction.
I said not all people are, you know what I'm saying? Not all people are, I don't want to say soft, but you know what I'm saying? Take that hate literally
to me.
or to heart.
Gigi had a great reason to smile, as we've spoken
He
about
upped the
Shaq's
W.
greatness, but as for his platform, during last year's NBA playoffs on May 18th, the site MVP Index broke down viewership numbers between ESPN and TNT. And while the numbers for the playoff games themselves were very similar, in terms of pregame coverage, Inside the NBA owned ESPN with
Duh, of course. No offense to ESPN, but come on, man. You got Charles Barkley and Shaq with Ernie and Kenny. All these dudes play basketball. On ESPN, you got Stephen A. Smith and Michael Wilbon. Like, no offense to them, but they, you know what I'm saying?
1,000 more than ESPN with 10 broadcasts for TNT.
You know what I'm saying? They dudes don't, you never played a game a day of basketball a day in their life.
Giving us
They can't even make a layup.
14 million combined views. Inside the NBA also has extreme mainstream credibility, as in 2020 they won the Emmy for Weekly Outstanding Studio Show in the sports category. So with Shaq, I really believe if you are an authentic person who truly seeks the best for people and doesn't just hate for no reason, doesn't just hold grudges for no reason, people will respect your word and treat you with incredible respect. If you don't believe me, here is Shaq with Luka on stage in Croatia as Shaq explains.
My main man Goran Dragic and Luka Doncic came up there with me.
That video went viral.
Yeah, I remember
Shout
that.
out
When was this?
And Goran Dragic and Luka Doncic
Not 22, okay.
came up there with me.
That video went viral.
Hey, shout out to Luka. When I arrived in Luka's town, some people picked me up. They drove me to a mansion that Luka had set out for me. They escorted me to the show. And Luka said, Shaq, ain't nothing gonna happen to you while you're in my town, Mr. O'Nilovich.
He called him Mr. O'Nilovich.
Still make comments about Luka's game? Yes. Shaq knows the ultimate secret in basketball. He is a former legend who is currently in a post-playing career. Shaq knows you can be the greatest player to ever live, but that only hurts you if you don't win a ring. Sure, the Charles Barkley jokes are funny, and then they became a bit much at times, and they became a lot much at times. We get it, Chuck has no ring. Unfortunately though, Chuck also has no comeback. We have watched several Hall of Famers, such as Elgin Baylor, Dominique Wilkins, Patrick Ewing, and John Stockton, just to name a few,
Patrick Ewing has a ring?
fade into the background way more than they should have after not winning an NBA championship during their careers. If that is what Shaq is really pushing for, greatness from the game's best, then is that even hate? To me, it is tough love. I think Shaq is just trying to inspire these guys.
Yeah.
I'm curious. to
Yep,
see
tough
what
love. Summed it up
comments
best,
are
Mike.
on this
That's why it's your video. Whoop-de-doo!
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications if you are new to the channel.
We gotta understand, Shaq. Not everyone takes tough love as motivation.
Never miss a video like this. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and cue that music.
You just gotta pick and choose when to do it and when to not do it. W video, Mike.